Okay, question. Isn't it pretty dangerous to sit in meditation for too long? Formal meditation. I have a friend who is a monk and an advanced meditator. He knows monks who have had strokes and blood clots by doing this, by sitting for too long, doing this all day and all night meditation. He did not recommend this. Blood clots, anyone? Well, the biggest key is to do walking meditation. The problem is, human beings, guess what? We're not meant to sit in a static position for 24 hours a day. If you've ever tried lying in bed for 24 hours, try that and see how it goes. Everyone thinks, oh, sleeping is so wonderful and lying down, the pleasure that comes from it. Well, try doing it for 24 hours. No, we're not meant to be static. Walking meditation really answers your question, I think, and shows that what that monk is saying, from the sounds of it, is not accurate. It's a misunderstanding of what the real problem is. The real problem is not continuous meditation. The real problem is thinking that meditation is only sitting still and attributing the blood clots and so on, therefore, to the meditation, which of course it's not. Meditation is a state of mind, and it's something that can be performed in any position, should be performed in every position. So the Buddha said, "Gachanto va gachamiti bhajanati." When walking, he knows I walk. Titom hiti. Tito va titom hiti bhajanati. Gachanto va gachamiti bhajanati. Satipatthana Sutta? No. Asking Mani Ratana, testing him. Just testing. When standing, he knows I stand. Nisino va nisino miti bhajanati. When sitting, they know I sit, I'm sitting. Sayano va sayano miti bhajanati. When lying, he knows I'm lying down. When walking, going when going forth, when going back, atikanto, patikanto, sampajanakari hoti. Nomatera knows it, I think. When going forth, when going back, when extending his arm, when flexing his arm, and so on, he knows it all. That's how meditation should be performed, according to the Satipatthana Sutta. So, yeah, dangerous to sit in meditation for too long. I never encourage people to meditate more than an hour. My teacher once had me do 2 hours walking, 1 hour sitting, and then 1 hour walking, 2 hours sitting, which is okay. It was actually quite torture, but that's not so bad. For 2 hours you can do it. And the other thing is that blood clots and such often come from a wider range of issues. In Thailand, for example, the food is horrible. The food that the monks get is way too much meat and sugar and fat and so on. And that's the kind of thing that I would assume leads to blood clots. An incredible amount of meat and fat and so on. So food is definitely an issue. And another one is probably the type of meditation that one practices. Because vipassana meditation actually liberates things like the blood and the body to a great extent. And so as a result, I don't know if I can say that, because in the end it's all the body, and you still might get blood clots. But there's a lot of fat monks in the world, and it's because either they're not practicing correctly, or even if they're practicing correctly, people are feeding them horrible food. And when they do meditation, it can be when they sit in the wrong position and they sit for a long time, it can have effect on the mind. But to tell you the truth, I've never heard of people having strokes and blood clots based on meditation. But it may happen. I did hear about one monk who sat still for a long, long time, not in meditation, but he sat still for a long, long time teaching people. He got so famous that he would sit there and he had to teach people and sit in the same position for hours and hours and hours. And I think he's in a wheelchair now. He's still a very famous monk, but his legs stopped working somehow. This is what I heard. Anyway, hope that answers your question.